Hello and welcome back to On the Break. I'm John alongside MLB All-Star 2015 home run champion, a fellow New Jersey native, Todd Frazier. Man, how's it going today?
Good. How you doing, big dog?
I'm doing pretty good, man. I'm just ready to get this going. But I'm sure you're
Well,
pretty excited about that Rutgers win on Saturday. Big
let's
Rutgers
go,
alum.
babe. Hey, we're back, dog. Let's go. Shiano's got the magic, and yeah, it was good to see that win, man. We'll take any win we can get. 7 turnovers. I mean, come on, man. Couldn't be any happier.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I did not expect that. I've been watching them for quite a bit. I'm not a Rutgers fan
Mhm.
myself. I was a Seton Hall guy, but I mean,
Okay.
yeah, but they are they played a good game. But I mean, I'm sure everybody else is just waiting for us to get into some baseball. But before we do that, this whole thing started because of a Twitter interaction, and you're a fun follow on Twitter for sure. But you do this thing, this one specific thing. It's hashtag Todd Father traffic. With
Yeah.
you see something going on in good old New Jersey and you see like, oh, there's an accident, you just tweet it out and everybody sees it. It's like you're doing better than the news guys, if I'm being honest with you right now. So where did that come from? I just noticed it.
I don't know. Just one day, I basically saw a really bad accident, and I'm like, well, let me just get this out here and let the people of Tom's River or the shore area, as we call it here, know that hey, if you're coming home from work or you're going through this area, go to a different spot. I did it once; it kind of blew up a little bit, and it's only when I'm out there. When I'm driving, if I see something, or I'll pull over, write a tweet, and a lot of people are very thankful. I get 10 people at least saying thank you. It saved me 10 minutes from not being late somewhere, and that's it. Just trying to help my fellow Tom River people. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course. It's a good thing to do. It's like I see news guys are probably it's like, hey, you got there before I did. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah. Some news people want me to come on the show. I just don't have time to get over there and
yeah, for sure.
and dabble a little bit.
Maybe sometime in the future when you got a little more time, we'll see you as a traffic man on some news station somewhere. But I mean, let's get into the baseball. I know everyone's waiting for that part, but this was a absolute unprecedented season. We'll probably never see something like this again. But there was COVID, there was a whole pandemic. You got a chance to play. There was no fans for the first time ever, really. I mean, how was that like? It must have been just a really strange time, not even just as a baseball fan, but you were actually playing in it. You had a lot of unprecedented things this season. How'd that go?
Yeah. At first, it was different. It was different at first because I feed off the crowd. I like the roar. I like going into a stadium that we're on the road and they're talking a lot of smack to me left and right. They Google me up and they talk about whomever, anybody I know, a family member, whatever. And I like to go back at them and we have some fun. But yeah, it was different. It's quiet. The crowd noise is there, which helps a little bit. In certain stadiums, the crowd noise was actually louder than others. So just depends on where you're at. In the later innings, it got louder and louder. But hey, it's a year I can always say I played in this crazy times, even though I didn't make it to the playoffs or win a World Series. But I actually started a journal from day one when we first had to go home from spring training, and maybe one day eventually write a book, write a book about it. Excuse me, and go from there. So it is what it is, and we just got to keep on rolling from there. But yeah, it was a fun year. You kind of got used to it, and that was it.
Yeah, it was just something really strange to watch as a fan going into it. I mean, it sure was a lot weirder for you as a player. Like
Mm.
how long did it really take everyone to get adjusted to there being no fans at all? It must have been just a really weird transition, but eventually there was some way you got used to it. They had cardboard cutouts of fans at one point. I don't know how weird that was, but I mean, how was that
Yeah,
transition really?
it was cool because for me, I had they actually made cardboard cutouts of my kids, which was awesome. So they were like right on the on deck circle. I kind of looked at them every time I went up there, gave them a wink or whatever it was to get that family feel. But yeah, it was different. So I think in San Francisco, a day game, the light shined just right when I was playing first base, where you couldn't see a ball at all. So it was like, all right, well, I'm gonna have to work my tail off to catch this ball, and it is. It's just different dimensions. It made it feel like something was there, but it still wasn't the same. But I miss the fans. I hope we get them back next year more and more. And you can see at the World Series, the roar of the crowd on some of these plays, especially Game 5, I think it was when they came back and won, was awesome.
Yeah, I mean, this World Series too has been really good. If you want to just get some regular baseball stuff going on, it's been a lot of fun to
Yeah.
watch. You had that insane Game 5 with, Red Heroes Arena coming in, smacking home plate. You had the drop ball from the catcher. I mean, what did you get a chance to watch that game? I mean, how did you think
Oh
of that?
yeah,
Yeah.
it was crazy, man. Not many people. The whole situation happened, but not many people are talking about, Kenley Jensen. If he's backing
Yeah.
up home plate there, he flips it. He's out by a mile. So it goes to show you how fundamentally sound you really still need to be, um, and how much pressure can get on a person. Pressure, causes some to break, others to break records. That's one of my biggest saying. And in that situation, it caused somebody to break. And I love them. Send the guy home. You're going in extra innings. You're going to be in the bottom of the inning anyway. And every inning, you got a chance to walk them off again. And I mean, a misplayed ball, a misplayed catch. I mean, it's just a game. That's why I tell kids it's a game of catch. That's why you practice catching the ball every day, bro.
Yeah. I mean, there was the other angle they showed, which is Kenley Jansen for the most part. When he throws that pitch and he sees that ball going in a center field, I mean, he starts hanging his head before he goes
Hmm.
back to home plate. I mean, that was the big mistake that he made. I mean, it was something
Yeah,
else.
it happens, but you got to keep playing the game.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, for sure he'll know that next time. It's just one of those mistakes you make and you learn from it. But
Without a doubt.
there was a lot of different things that the MLB decided to try out. There was the main one being this runner on second in extra innings. I mean, a lot of fans were a little iffy about that. A lot of people saw it as a gimmick. I personally I didn't mind it if it's only for one season. I thought it was a little weird to see it kind of sped up the game, which is something baseball has been trying to do for quite some time now. But what did you make of it? Did you have any games where you saw that happen for yourself too? I'm sure you probably did, but what'd you make of that?
You know what? Honestly, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I mean, to talk about speeding the game up. The only thing I would change next year if we're going to do it again, I'd put the runner at first base.
Okay.
Make it that much harder to do, whether you really are truly going to bunt the ball or you're going to play for it and try and dominate and hit ball in a gap. So I'm all for it. I'm all for 7 inning games. I'm all for anything like that. I think it's it makes the game quicker. It makes the game fun and a lot more decision making you have to make. But yes, I'm into a lot of teams making the playoffs. I think gives a lot more guys a chance. Everybody's like, oh well, you got all these games to play in the season. You should decide then. Well, guess what? It's not the way it works. Basketball has 16 teams. So why can't we have 14 or 13? Make it somewhere in the middle there that you give 2 or 3 extra teams a chance to get in the playoffs and make a little magic run.
Yeah, I mean, going off the bracket thing, it was the way they did it, having it similar to NBA, like you mentioned. It was really fun to watch. This is probably the most fun playoffs that we've seen in a long time, just based on that format. Even if we had greater games too, would have been. It's been a lot of fun this playoffs. I think it's been just a good time to be a baseball fan. They've done a great job with it, in my opinion. To be honest
Yeah, and
with
I think the two best teams are there. So
you. Yeah.
at the end of the day, whether we have 16, 20, 5, 4, the two best teams are playing, and it's making for a really fun series. I hope it goes to Game 7. To be honest with
Oh, I'm thinking the same thing. I mean,
you.
I've been liking Clayton Kershaw for a long time, but I mean, if they can get that to a game seven, it'll be a lot of fun just to watch it out. But the other thing that they tried to do, and it's been something that we've all, as baseball people, have been talking about for a long time. It is
Yeah.
that DH in the National League. For a long time, it's been DH in the AL. You've had the pitcher hit the ninth spot in the NL.
Mm.
So, I mean, I am okay. I'm perfectly fine with the DH in the NL. It's a little bit of an iffy topic, but it opens up a lot more opportunities for hitters to get jobs in the National League too, and get
Yes.
some time out there. But I mean, obviously, we all love seeing Bartolo Colon hit a baseball too. So, where do you stand on that? Do you like the way it is, or would you change it to the DH in the National League? What do you got?
I I think you got to keep DH in the National League now. I was a big component guy that said, listen, I don't want the DH. It helps out teams, but as I'm getting older, I might need to find another job. So the more hitters that you can get up there, the better. I think now. So baseball's a different sport. You got to come with the times now and understand things are going to be different. We talk about unwritten rules all the time. There's no
Yeah.
more. Everything's thrown out the door. You play the game. You want to get your stats up when you're up 7, so be it. I was a big believer in that old school. Listen, don't show the team up, but hey, some guys got to get paid too. At the end of the day, listen, this is a job too, and you want to put your best foot forward. So, the more times you can get a hitter up there, the more exciting the game will be.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad you brought it up a personal level with you because, I mean, you remember
Yeah.
David Ortiz was able to extend his career quite some time just because he was only playing DH for a lot of the time. So for you
Hmm.
personally, I mean, it'd be a lot easier for veterans like you to just find a job. Yeah, let me hit. I don't have to worry about fielding. And you could be a lot
Yeah.
better as a hitter because you don't have to train really as much for fielding. I mean, they might throw you out there every now and then, but if
Yeah.
you just focus on hitting, it's a lot easier for guys like
And
you.
without a doubt, it gives a guy a day or two off too as well from using his feet too much. So hopefully, that comes into fruition.
Yeah, I mean, I'm hoping for it. I've heard that they're actually thinking about actually implementing that, so that'll be a lot of fun. But I mean,
Yeah.
this season was unprecedented, like I've mentioned before, and you've had your first unprecedented moment. You pitched in a game for the first time since that old 98 Little League World Series. You got to pitch against
Yeah.
Atlanta. Obviously, the game didn't go the way that your team would have wanted to, but it's still a fun moment, when you're down, I think it was 15-2, still see, Todd Frazier get in, throw a few pitches, get a perfect inning too. You decided to bust out the knuckleball. How'd that go?
Listen, it was absolutely filthy. I was the only pitcher to get a 1-2-3 inning, and the excitement. It was great because I've always wanted to put that on my bucket list, but now I got a baseball card of it, and the rest was history.
Yeah, I didn't know there was a baseball card. Actually, I might have to look into that, see what we can get there. But I mean, it was a fun moment. Did it remind you a bit of that Little League World Series? I got to bring it up, of course. But I mean, did you kind of think, hey, I've done this before? What's going on?
Oh, without a doubt, without a doubt. I didn't want to leave the mound. I thought it was such a fun time and a great experience. I wanted to throw more pitches, but 13 pitches was great, and we went from there.
Yeah, I think every fan wanted to see as many pitches as possible from that. But it's just you got to strike out your ex teammate too, good old Adam Duvall on that ball.
Yes,
But
yes, and he
leave it
wasn't
to
happy about it too. So at the end of the day, what are you going to do? You got to swing that bat, baby. I'm throwing them strikes with those knuckleballs. So there
yeah.
you go.
They after all this time they forgot you still got that in your bag right there.
Oh, without a doubt, without
Yeah.
a doubt.
But I mean, there's been also a lot of pitchers that you've got the chance to hit against. A lot of great pitchers, a lot of great hitters, a lot of Hall of Famers. And
Sorry, I got my boy in here
there
with
he is
me.
right there.
He get little Blakester. He gets nosy. So welcome. What's up?
Yeah. Welcome to the show, my man.
Yes.
You got him hitting? You got him going to the MLB soon?
Oh yeah, he hits lefty and he throws righty. So we got a good combination, right, bud? You
All
want, you
right.
want to say hello? Yes. Go ahead. If you don't mind, he's gonna hang
Oh, I
with
don't
me here.
mind. You're good.
All right, go ahead. Sorry.
All right. You want me to ask him a question?
Can you hear him? Go ahead. He's gonna ask you a question. Go ahead, if you
All right.
like.
All right. All right. We'll go back to actually pitching against. I don't know if you got to see your dad pitch against Atlanta. What was that like watching him pitch? I know you
When
watch
I
him hit a
pitch.
lot, but what was that like?
Fun?
Yeah, it was
Fun.
right. Because I strike you out all the time, right?
You only struck me out twice.
All right. Well, thanks. Hey, I'm gonna finish this interview and then we'll talk more homework in a little bit. He's got his homework he's doing, so you
Oh
know how
yeah.
it is. Remote school learning, man. We got to do what we got to do.
Yeah, I mean, I've been doing. How's that been actually for him? I mean, just you
It's
you
it's
you've got to step in as a teacher, I'm sure, but
it's been all right. He goes to school Mondays and Wednesdays, and then Tuesday, Thursday, Fridays, he's got to stay at home and do online stuff. So it works out well for him.
oh, that works out. Okay, yeah, I think that's
Yeah.
kind of the main thing that they've been doing. But we'll get back to baseball. You've got a lot of
Yes.
great pitchers that you've hit against. I mean, you've
Mhm.
hit against pretty much all these guys. Hit against guys that are playing in the World Series right now. Who is the one guy that you would say was the toughest pitcher that you've ever had to go after?
Oh man, I mean, recently it's Aaron Nola. I think I'm 0 for 20 against him. Max Scherzer, I think I'm 1 for 15. I would say the top guy that would have to be Corey Kluber. For some reason, his ball is just so filthy. I got a couple singles off him, but I know it's going to be a tough day. If I can scrounge out a bloop single, I'm happy. So he'd probably be the toughest guy I've ever had to face.
Yeah, I mean that's a great time. You've played with one great one, Jacob DeGrom.
Yes.
You've probably had the chance to go against him too. I mean, what's it like? What's it like playing with him? He's probably just watching him practice is probably a
You
lot of
know,
fun too.
you know what's funny about him? I'm 1 for 8 against him with a home run and actually tied the game in the seventh. And he ended up getting a no decision. And I tell him all the time when he starts messing with me, I said, listen, I got that homer that he goes, oh, I threw a changeup. I said, well, it was 93, so I don't know what else to tell you. Stop throwing me changeup. So now he said whenever he faces me again, he's throwing me a fastball every pitch. I said, that'll be a mistake too because I hit those pretty far. But yeah, him behind him or playing behind him is awesome. He's going to give up 1, maybe 2 runs every time. And you might have to make one hard play. So it's a day where, if you put 3 or 4 runs up, you're going to get the victory. So it's exciting.
Yeah, it's a fun time going with him. And speaking of home runs, I mean the 2015 home run derby. I'm sure you love talking about that.
Oh, yeah.
For me personally, it was actually one of like the main moments that sparked my interest in baseball as much as it did. It was really cool to
Oh,
watch.
thank you. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Like I remember watching. It was one of the most fun, most exciting home run derbies we've had. I mean, ever since that last one, it's not much is topping that one to me. But
No.
I mean, what was that like? You were playing with Cincinnati at the time. You did it in Cincinnati, and it was just electric. So what did that mean
It,
for you to be able to bring that home for your career?
it was unbelievable. Not only was it electric, I had both my brothers there. My brother Charlie threw to me. My brother Jeff, I called him my hype man. He was on the
Yeah.
sidelines firing me up. At the home park, I had all my family there. I mean, listen, I watch it every time home run derby comes around now because to this day, you look in the crowd that they're chanting my name every 5 seconds. They had poster boards, Todd Father this, nobody messes with the Todd Father. This is Todd Father's, and that the little stuff. And I was just cranking them, man. I had a blister on my hand the size of a $50, and I'll do it again every day of the week.
Oh, I'm sure. Whatever happened to your hand the next day, that was all worth it for that.
Yeah,
I
it was
mean,
totally worth it. It was awesome.
yeah, no, it was just a fun time. I had to bring it up, but you have gotten the opportunity to play for both the Mets and the Yankees,
Yes.
two very historic franchises. Obviously, the Yankees have been around much longer. They've had a lot more history, and basically, a quarter of their numbers are retired at this point. And I mean, but being able to be one of the few guys that have gotten the chance to play for both of those teams, I mean, especially growing up where you're from. I mean, there's got
Yeah.
to be a lot of strange things that go on, but a lot of cool things as well. You probably know a lot of guys when you're playing with the Yankees saying, why are you playing for the Yankees? A lot of people who play for the Mets, why are you playing for the Mets? I'm a Yankees fan. You grew up a
Yeah.
Yankees fan, though. I've seen that. So, I mean, what's it like being able to play for both teams?
It's been unbelievable. I pinch myself because now, not only do I have a Yankee jersey hanging up, I have a Mets jersey. I'm one of like 50 or 60 guys. I don't know exactly the number to ever do it. And it's just been unreal because the aura of being a New York Yankee and, the aura of being a Met too. Whenever I play for the Mets, my Yankee buddy's like, I'll root for you, but I hope you lose, and vice versa. So there's a lot of them in Jersey here, as you know. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's been a phenomenal career for me, just with the teams I play with and the people I met. And, most of it comes down to New York because, in New York, there's a lot of pressure that you can put upon yourself, not only with the media and, expectations, but, if you can handle New York, which I think I have in my whole career, you can handle anything. So, that old saying, if I can make it here, I'll make it anywhere. And it's true. It's really true what Sinatra said.
I love me some Frank Sinatra. You pick him as your walk up song a
Yeah.
lot of time. Fly Me to the Moon. I've loved him a long time. Where'd that come from? Where'd you get that Frank Sinatra from?
My grandmother used to play old songs
Yeah.
at home. Honestly, I was like, God, these songs are so bad, but then it grew on me like a fine wine. So it relaxes me. It reminds me of my grandparents, and I'm
Yeah.
always hyped up as it is. So the more I can come down a level, the better I'll be hitting the ball.
Yeah, that makes sense actually. You get really hyped up before that, then you'll hear that song, you kind of calm down a bit. I mean, it aged with you like fine wine. So did Frank with his music too. I mean,
Without a
it was a
doubt.
great time.
Without a
Jersey
doubt.
legend, love that much. But I mean,
Mhm.
in those Mets and Yankees locker rooms, you've been much more of a leader for that clubhouse. A lot of guys look up to you there. So, I mean, what's that experience been like? Because it's a lot. You've had that help for you a lot of the time, and now you've kind of been able to play in that role and be that veteran that a lot of guys look up to for both those Mets and Yankees legendary franchises. So, how do you go about that? I mean, what's it been like for you being that kind of role for a team?
Yeah, I think it starts at a young age. When you got guys that are looking for you to carry the load or, looking for you to be that guy to step up in a big situation, and 9 times out of 10 it happens, you kind of naturally become the leader, and the guys ask you questions and scenarios and examples like, what should we do here? What Todd? Let's ask Todd. And what am I saying? I never always had the answer, but
Yeah.
at the same time, sometimes I did. So with more experience and more wisdom and more talking to coaches and trying to get more examples, it kind of came natural to me, and I like it when young guys come up for the first time, like with Pete Alonso. I kind of, put my arm around him and said, let's go, bro. I got you. Any problems, come to me. And I said, just worry about hitting. Don't worry about anything else. I'll take the brunt of everything. And we went from there. And to see a kid like that prosper and to come in his own and break a single season record as a rookie is phenomenal.
Yeah, I mean, Pete's been a lot of fun to watch. I mean, I am a Mets fan. I'm not just wearing this because you're on. I am just genuinely a Mets fan too. But, I mean, Pete's been a lot of fun to watch, and you've had a lot of influence in how good he's been and just him being an overall cool guy. But, I mean, he's been on fire last season. This season, too, he's been great. But, I mean, he's fun to play with, man.
Without a doubt. And he's goofy like me, so it works out well.
Yeah, you got to be goofy when you're named the polar bear. Why not? For sure.
Without a doubt. I gave him that nickname in spring training, and it stuck like glue, so I'm happy for him. He's got his own little trademark going now.
There he goes. He's already got a brand, and he's just this young in the MLB. But
got to do it.
Yeah, I'm sure one of his favorite moments of his career so far is being able to get the chance to play with you and get that nickname from you. So, but let's go to you. What is your favorite moment that you could pick from your career if you had to pick one?
Oh, man, there's just so many. I think, when you come up as a kid, you always dream of hitting a home run in the big leagues. You always put those scenarios on a walk-off homer. So I would probably say early in my career, I mean, there's been a bunch. I would give you three. So I'd say my first home run off Barry Zito, who was a Cy Young Award winner. My first walk-off home run against the Braves, because you always want to hit a walk-off. Yeah. And then the three-run homer I hit off Charlie Morton in game 3 of the playoffs, game 3 against the Astros, I think was unbelievable. I got a picture actually 20 feet away of me pointing to my family after I hit the home run with the Yankees. And those are the most memorable because you always dream about doing that as a kid. And sometimes dreams do come true.
Yeah, I mean, besides the Derby, I'll give you mine personally, but it's
Derby for sure.
It was actually that home run against the Braves that you're talking about. It was that grand slam. You flip the bat, and my favorite moment of that was you hit it, you're rounding home, and then My Way starts playing. I mean, that must have been chills for you.
It was awesome. I mean, what a really quick snap they did up there with the Reds. Or who I forget who I was playing. I think it was with the Reds. I think
it was the Tigers. I think you played against the Tigers actually.
Yeah, we played against the Tigers. I was with the Reds. Yeah, it was a great job by the crew there with the Reds to put that on real quick. And sometimes good things happen to good people, so I'll take it.
Yeah, I mean that was a good time. I mean, throughout your career, you always did it your way, and you've always will continue to do this whole thing your way, Todd. Thank you so much for coming on the show. Truly appreciate it, my man. Anything else you got to say?
Thank you, man. Keep working hard, brother. You're gonna make it in this business, all right? I appreciate you.
Much appreciated, man. Thank you so much for coming on the show. And thank you guys for watching On The Break. We will see you later, Todd. Thank you for coming on the show.
Have a good one.